Good morning, or whatever time of day you happen to be watching. Hi, if you're looking for tarot time, you're in the right place. And welcome to the Medium channel. So today we are going to do our weekly tarot forecast, other divination cards that I have available, and what else? And that's basically it. So I'm realizing as I'm starting that I'm missing my clipboard. So I'm going to run inside and get that really quickly. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. It's high technology. What can I say? So, anyhow, so I'm going to say a few quick hellos and dive right on in. Happy Samhain, happy Halloween, everybody. Only 2 days away. So, we're in the season for sure. Hi, Millie and Anna and Angela, and hi, Suzette and Brooke. Welcome. And hi, Jennifer and Horses. Welcome. And Jody and Chris. And that's it so far. Kind of a quiet Sunday morning. It was all my work days. The last 4 days, it's 80 degrees, sunny. Now I'm off. It's 45 degrees and raining. Welcome to that. Hey, Beth, welcome. Welcome. So, anyways, another Sunday morning, and last night we did a transmission. A lot of you were on that. And I have to say, wasn't even sure I was even going to be able to do it. The energy got so strong. Even right before I started, I got so dizzy. I thought I was going to pass out. And then I didn't really sleep last night. So talk about being partly to mostly cloudy. But we'll get through this. Not only will we get through this, we're going to get a lot of really great information out. So sometimes I like to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world to kind of lead into the tarot stuff and the other divination stuff. And a lot's going on. It's been very eventful lately. As I often talk about and explain, we're in this great purge right now as part of the refinement of our energy fields, and it's affecting us personally, but it's also affecting the earth and the totality of consciousness or the human collective. So one of the things that happened as we keep going through this ascension and upgrade process is that new streams of information kind of pierce the veils of the collective consciousness. So then new information becomes available to us. Sometimes that comes in the form of like new spirit guides or ascended masters, new ideas, new insights, and a lot of awakenings. A lot of people are having Kundalini experiences. So hi, Blindly Inspired. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And hi, Anna, if I didn't say hi earlier. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Ishika. Welcome. If anybody happens to be new and you want to say hi and where in the world that you are from, or if you're old like me, you can say the same thing. So yeah, so we did a very powerful transmission last night with the master teachers, the team or the group that works through me in the frequency work, and then Archangel Sandalphon of the Crystalline Earth Grid work with us also. And like I said, it's really powerful, and I got a lot of comments from that. Oh, from India! Wow, hi Ishika. So welcome. Uh, I think you're only the second person that I'm aware of that's come in from India. So welcome everybody. So anyway, a couple of things have been going on with me, and you guys, this could be good fodder for conversation because these Sunday mornings, even though it's really about tarot and tarot time, this has become kind of our community hangout basically. And what I want to talk about is timeline shifts because I mean, I've been having these for a while, but lately I'll go into the state where I'm like remembering things, distinct memories of things that never happened, basically. Things that I did, in this body, in this lifetime. I mean, I might have been in parallel universes for all I know. And it's like where did that come from? And I'm wondering if that's part of the timeline shift. If the timeline shift, we wouldn't know it. yesterday, Germany may have won World War II, and we were living in a whole different world. And then today, there was a timeline shift, so we don't know that. So I don't know if a lot of you guys are experiencing stuff like that. Hi, Mr. Floyd. Good dawning. Um, or what's called Mandela effects, and when a group of people have a shared memory of something that didn't happen, and I think it was Adam Z from Manifest Yourself channel. Very good law of attraction channel, by the way, if you don't know that one. There's talking about this game that millions of people play, and they were talking about a level. I don't know if it was level 2 or level 3 that actually doesn't exist. And then everybody's like saying, but we played this level. How could it not exist? And then people, talk to the company, and they said there never was that level. So, strange things are happening as we're expanding in consciousness. We're expanding into the quantum field, that realm, or the realm of spirit, where everything exists, all timelines exist. So we can tap into these different timelines. And I think that's part of our ascension into what's referred to as 5-dimensional consciousness, or 5D reality, is understanding we can shift frequency levels, just like electrons shift their orbital levels. That's called a quantum shift in chemistry. So we're having these things going on with us. Okay, so this is good. The Quantum Businessman, great YouTube channel on Mandela effects. Very good. Hi, Yvonne. Um, what are you saying, Mr. Blah? I am highly Mandela affected. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of that going on. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes in the world. You've heard of what happened in Acapulco. It's basically gone, wiped off. Well, not wiped off the map. That's a little bit dramatic, but basically a tropical storm blew up into not only a hurricane, but a category 5 hurricane of 165 miles per hour wind in 12 hours. So that's probably a meteorological record. So that's going on. Why is that happening? Well, we can speculate, but I've heard people in the meteorology community say the words unnatural about that. So, you can take it for what it is. I understand that a lot is going to rise to the surface. It's already happening about election fraud here in the good old US of A, and a lot what's going on in the January 6th trials, all the deeds and misdeeds of our former president, Mr. Trump, and all that stuff. And I often say I don't take sides in the political forum, because I feel like it's a polarizing effect, or a programming against us to polarize and to take sides. So whether you love him or hate him, the fact of the matter is history's changing, and all the stuff I believe is going to bring a lot of the election fraud, not just in the Trump elections, but in elections before that, and how the system is really broken, and not only broken, but orchestrated in a certain direction. So that's going on. Then the fear mongers are jumping all over the World War III bandwagon. So you're going to see big headlines, because renewed aggression happening in the Middle East, and Iran, I believe it is. I don't dive into too much of the details, but this is something that's been predicted by myself and others, that this was going to happen. And I maintain I don't see World War III. I feel like there's going to be a lot of talk about that, and escalation of what's going on now, but I don't see it getting to that level. We'll see. I hope I'm right, but we'll see what's going on. Mr. Floyd saying, did we ever have a clean election? I was pretty innocent when I was younger, so I want to say not since 2000, but I think it's been, before that. I mean, we had the Clintons before that, right? Although the 90s was almost like a heyday. But anyway, so what else? Things coming out about the what's they called? The vaccines, RNA vaccine, the mRNA vaccines. things that should have been disclosed before uh, uh, before all the propaganda around vaccinations. By the way, I'm not either for or against getting vaccinated. I think we should all make our own decisions when it comes to our own body and the health of ourselves and others. But we should have adequate information. We should have accurate information to make those decisions rather than inaccurate information. And this is not new news, but it's likely to come out more. And it's people like Dr. John Campbell that are questioning the whole protocols now, that were actually for it in the beginning. So it's interesting. People that worked in the testing facilities are talking about things that weren't disclosed that should have been. That said, it may not turn out to be a bad thing, but we should be aware. So why not? Well, perhaps it's just my theory, but perhaps profit is more important to certain powers that be than the well-being and health of people like us. Just something to think about, right? I said I have no opinions. By the way, I do have a Patreon group called Spirit Mind Family where we dive deeper into all the stuff that we do here on the Medium channel. It's uncensored, and actually there I do have an opinion. I just figured I'd mention that, and I always leave the information on how to join. And yeah, since I'm on the topic, on Tuesday we're gonna do mediumship at 8 p.m. Eastern time. For the East people in my time zone, to get the kiddies all squared away from their trick or treating and their Halloween adventures. They can sit them down with a pile of candy and keep them quiet for an hour so you guys can get messages. Now, you guys in Central and Mountain Time and Western Time, sorry, can't help you there. But anyway, that's basically it. So let's do our meditation card. And I hope everybody's doing well. And remember, that we are going to get through this. Not only are we going to get through this, we're going to awaken. As we awaken and we expand in consciousness, the old has to be purged away. That which prevents us from awakening and evolving has to purge away, has to leave if we're going to awaken and ascend. So this season is the great purge. And if you guys didn't do the transmission last night, I suggested it. It was really powerful. Like I said, I thought I was gonna have to stop it in the beginning. I was worried I was gonna pass out. The energies got so strong. So I have to admit, those of you that were on and not, that I didn't have the easiest time holding those frequencies last night, but it wound up being a really good transmission anyways. And I think at the end of the day, this is helping to remove those layers of misinformation, we'll put it, layers of illusion and delusion, basically. Oh yeah, you like my Ankh shirt? Hi, Laura, by the way. I'm all Ankhs, and I've got my gourd. Oh, you can't see my gourds here. The crystals are blocking them. Well, this is kind of Halloween setup. And happy full moon. So we're still in the full moon and eclipse energies. Yeah, I'm all decked out for Halloween. And Samhain and Dia de los Muertos and all the other celebrations that go on. So this time of year we celebrate death and dying and all things scary and spooky. But here in the northern half of the world, especially, well, not so much in the tropics, but in the temperate zones, the leaves are falling away, everything's dying, but the leaves nourish the soil so that new growth can come up in the spring, which is why I don't rake my leaves, by the way. Some people do, and I'm like, those leaves are going to nourish your soil, and even though they're leaves, you may not like them, they decompose, and then you have nice lawns in the years to come. All right, I'm missing you. 40 years. Oh, this is interesting. So, little reality check. 40. What, we don't hear about AIDS, do we? A whole lot. But I do believe that's still a global pandemic. Then 100 years of flu and no vaccine, 1 year of vivid, I think that's COVID, and three companies have a vaccine. Funny how that is, isn't it? Of course, like I said, I have no opinions on the matter, but it is something funny. Maybe funny is the wrong word, but something to look at. And anyhow, I was saying that, yeah, I'll come out with my weather and climate stuff too. I mean, here in the East Coast, for those of you that share like the Hudson Valley, the New York and New England area with me, I think the El Nino is going to modify the temperatures here a little bit, so it may not be particularly cold, but I think there's going to be some memorable nor'easters and storms. So prepare for that this winter, especially because we haven't had a real active coastal storm track for a few years. So this is what I'm saying. I asked Dr. Fauci, is he still a doctor? He's not in prison somewhere. Wait, did I say that? I don't have an opinion on Dr. Fauci either. um, but what is known is that there's a lot of advice given at the time about, from virologists. Is that the right word? Virologists? Yeah, world-renowned people that was not publicized. There's actually a trail of emails of information that could have shifted the trajectory of what we did about the COVID situation. Not publicized, not followed, and turned out to be pretty much a disaster. I was talking. I do mediumship work. Obviously, this is the medium channel, and I talked to a lot of people whose loved ones passed during COVID. They couldn't see them. There's drug abuse went up, suicides went up, people couldn't get treatment for heart disease, for cancer, all that went up. And the thing is that there were other ways to handle things. I'll just put it that way. And actually, I had something outlined when I knew it was coming, before it came. And then I saw how, I paid attention, I pay attention to what's going on. And there's a certain pattern to how this virus spread that told me that it's a cluster, it's a clustering effect. Like, in other words, it would come up in clusters rather, like influenza tends to spread and spread, but this virus tended to cluster. And to me, that meant, usually you would have to be exposed. You need a certain level of exposure in order to get it. Like, in other words, like somebody sits in their office and they're next to somebody that has it for 8 hours. So they pick it up and they bring it to their families. They pick it up and that kind of a thing, just based on the patterns. And I'm not going to go too deeply into this, but there was a better way. And if I knew it, they knew it. I'll put it that way. But there was a better way to do things than a total like shutdown, basically. And come June 2020, the brilliance of the what's that organization called? The one Fauci headed with the 5 letters, and also the other ones kind of came out and just sort of validated what I picked up on, way early in the pandemic. And it was like, yeah, hello, you're the experts, not me. Hello. So anyhow, so why was that done? We can speculate, but as we often say around here, and other people say the same thing, if you follow the money, you can pretty much get an idea of why things are done the way that they're done. And the evidence suggests that money and power over others are more important to certain factions that run certain things in this planet than the well-being and the health and even our lives, of the average people. Yeah, that's interesting because one of the predictions for this season was actually 2 new viruses or variants, which I haven't heard of yet. So that's interesting. Visiting with hemorrhagic fever. Yeah. So we'll see how that evolves. So anyway, back to tarot. Now that it's 22 minutes after, uh, and we are grateful and happy, Laura. Yes, we are. And the horses figured up saying no storms, please. Well, I'll do my best. No storms. All right. So this is for our meditation work for the week. Now, we're in the Samhain, the Halloween season. Veils between the worlds are said to be thinner, and I experience that. Spirit activity does tend to be stronger around this time of year. So this is a good time to really talk to the ancestors, and they may be coming through. I'm getting like a, to the Irish people that are on, somebody with the surname McAllister popped in. Or so, if anybody knows who that is, I think that's a male figure. Your loved one saying hi, and this is the card we got. Oh, I like this. Yeah, let's bring the sun in. It's a kind of a dark time of the year here in the northern hemisphere, and it's one of those days also. So the way that I recommend meditating with tarot cards is like any other meditation. You start out by getting very, very, very relaxed, very present in the moment. Nice deep breathing. And then in your mind, you step into the card. And as soon as you step in, when you're ready, just feel the difference when you step into a new reality or new energy field, as it were. Because each tarot card's a portal unto itself. So you step in there and just hang out and just feel the energies. And maybe there's other beings, there's other scenery behind. This is just sort of a very narrow window into a whole new reality to step in. And this may be, because it's the sun card, give you some ideas of how to really be in the light, or how to work with clearing the shadows, since that's the time of the year that we're in also. And we can sing some John Denver also, if you want, if that makes you feel good. And Pauline's asking, does weather get a? I believe it does. Yeah, it's all fluid. It's all connected to consciousness. As the earth changes, the weather changes. I mean, I know the weather, weather modification in a large scale, it's real. The government partially admits to that. Native Americans were able to make it rain, or work with the the local weather, and to create rain that way through through focused prayer and stuff like that. And I've had my own experiences also. So yeah, it's part of consciousness. We had a really crummy summer here. When the few days that it was sunny, the sky was filled with smoke around here. So again, it's all a reflection on what's going on in the world. So we can create internal sunshine. So the idea is to step inside, and maybe you'll meet some spirit guides, and maybe you'll get some advice on how to get healthier, because the sun card is a card of health, is a card of vitality. This is from the Morgan Greer deck, by the way. So if you have your own card, you can pull your own sun card and do that. So that's our meditation cards. I want to jump into a 3-card spread also and see where that is. And hi, Shyla, and anybody I missed on the chat, hi to you too. So I think that answers your question, Pauline, about the getting affected by the emotion of local community. So I had a somewhat of a shared experience with Greg Braden. That's kind of my claim to fame. Back in 1983, I had moved to Oklahoma temporarily. I met with some of the Native Americans, and one of them, he's the time a man, maybe 50 years old. His name is Bob Field, although he's full-blooded Native, so he took on his, I don't know, it's Western name, but it's Bob Field was his name. And we were hiking one day. My friend Bob Vetter, myself, and I were hiking, around one of the few wooded areas in central Oklahoma. It's all like it's Oklahoma City. Then there's a lot of farmlands, and he's talking about that how the Native Americans would get together. They would all visualize that it was raining. Basically, like sometimes they would do like the dances and the drum beats. Drumming and rhythm. It's a very powerful tool for affecting consciousness and affecting reality. But the idea was that they would say, when we pray for rain, we don't ask the Creator to make it rain, because then we just reaffirm the lack of rain. But what we do instead is we feel the rain hitting our skin, we smell the rain, we feel the crops, and we express gratitude for the rain that's already falling. Now, where have we heard that before? Oh, let's see. Joe Dispenza, Bob Proctor, Abraham Hicks, Sandra Taylor. You go down the list. When you want to create something, when you want to work with law of attraction, do you want it, or do you feel like it's already happening? And if you can really be strong in the reality in your mind that it's already happening, you create a frequency that attracts that into your life, basically. And so in any event, just looking at your comments, 5 inches of so dry, did you say, in Missouri? Missouri? I think that's what they called it in Oklahoma, Missouri. Was that the show me state? And then Oklahoma's the Sooner state. So basically kind of glorifying, thieves, basically. That's who the Sooners were. So anyhow, I didn't know it's more like I'm missing. Thinking I'm missing part of your. So yeah, we'll send a little prayer for your mom, Patty. And again, just visualize she's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So the thing is, though, hang in there, and because more people are getting it. That's part of the reason people like me do what we do. Being here on YouTube and just kind of like basically having a target on my butt for all the negative people. We go through what we go through for that reason, to help to bring awareness to to the people, basically. And I've said it, almost 3.5 years I've been on YouTube. I've been saying it all along. There's a war against consciousness, against spirituality. When I had my initial awakening in 1978, and I started to kind of come back into my, I don't want to say into my body, because I was in my body, but come back into my normal perception. It took a few months. Actually, it was a weird time, but I just realized, that's when I realized that there's so much pressure to suppress people from awakening and from growing spiritually, even back in the 70s. Remember the 60s, right? I'm hearing Canned Heat in my mind singing "Remember Woodstock." That's a song by Canned Heat. Obviously, after the Woodstock festival, and how they really squashed that movement of freedom and spirituality that the hippies were portraying at the time. Really, so that's an interesting. I just found that the first year. That's interesting. I mean, I would have thought that there's always been star seeds, but I don't know. So you might be right. I think we're talking about actually saying the indigo generation, which is kind of, I guess that's kind of Gen X, right? But I know indigos that were born before 1978. Anyhow, it's interesting. So anyway, let's do our 3-card spread. Let's get into this. Just clear my mind a second. Interesting. Kind of an interesting layout here. I mean, the swords look very stressful to me. We had the Queen of Swords. She's reversed here. We have the Nine of Swords, and then the Six of Pentacles. It's interesting because I'm looking at that and I'm wondering, if there's, if this is going to lead into some kind of stimulus package or something to revitalize the economy. But there's nothing that I'm aware of that would validate another stimulus package or something like that. But let me kind of dive into this a little bit. You know what I'm sensing here is just like a lot of programming. Like what else is new, right? But I have a feeling, those powers that be, when I say that, you can call them the cabal, deep state. There's a lot of names for that, but there are an elite few that control what goes on in the world and the societies. That's been known for a while, so it's not anything new or whatever. But I think that what's going on is there's just like a new sort of wave of negative programming or negative energy that's overlapping this Halloween or Samhain season, because they're aware of energies. Like they know about astrology, numerology, and the different times of year, and they're aware of the portals. They're aware of all that stuff also, and they try to manipulate it to maintain control of the mass. At least that's my theory, anyhow. And this just kind of looks like I think that it's saying, just try to, the best of your ability, avoid people that are negative and fearful. They're programmed, they can't help themselves. And I know I can be guilty, as much as anybody, because there's like this desire to save the world, right? And just because I've seen so much and I've been through so much, it's like I want to fire back at people, but that's not the way to do it, because they're programmed. They're not going to get it. Your programming runs very deep, so we just have to keep our focus and attention on those that are evolving and breaking the patterns of programming. And it takes a lot to do, but it starts by simply going back to the very, very basics of spirituality, mindfulness, meditation, being able to sit, being able to breathe, being able to not think, but rather be in the experience of the now moment, and then observe yourself and observe your reality from that point. And it really starts from there, because then you start to tap into higher consciousness. As soon as you start to breathe and become present in the moment, your consciousness already starts to raise. And people like Joe Dispenza can take a group, teach them meditation techniques, and they can drop into a meditative state, in a matter of seconds. Like they don't need to go, okay, I'm now relaxing my left pinky and then my left middle finger, and then I'm going to my wrist and going through 20 minutes of a countdown. It's just a matter of breathe, get present. One of the things that I teach is long, deep breathing, right? So you stop your thoughts, get very present, be aware of your breath, inhaling love and light, exhaling, releasing stresses and worries. But as I do my presence, I become aware of my body expanding on the inhale and contracting on the exhale. And what that does for me, it kind of locks me into presence just a little bit deeper, and it allows me to stay in that state of presence for longer. So if you want to try that next time you're meditating, you're practicing presence, you just add like the feel of like expansion and contraction. Then I can feel my aura expanding with the inhale and contracting with the exhale also, just like my lungs do, basically, just like my chest does. So I think, this is just kind of saying that. Now, being that there's a card of worry, anxiety, restriction is right around a money card. I think some of you are just really having to just break ties with somebody or break ties with people. I want to say. And people that are in your life, I think somebody here is really going to have to pull away from their moms, I want to say, or a mother figure. um that's just like maybe not in good health, but just like too demanding or too negative. I think there's a general statement on stepping away from negative people, and connecting more with people like us that are positive, that want to continue to evolve and grow and to continue to make a difference. I think I'm seeing also bribery here, and a couple of things is there may be like money laundering that gets exposed in very high places or stuff like that. But I also think um, that there may be just some kind of incentives they get rolled out if you do a certain thing. Basically, I don't know what that certain thing is, but it may involve something like submitting to being more in more controlled by technology, or that kind of a thing. um but on a local level, that will be in your life. Some of you may get some unexpected money, which is never really a bad thing. Um, and because that's what the Six of Pentacles often means. But this is kind of saying, we can be prisoners of our own minds, basically. Yeah, and we have to learn how to work through our emotions, how to clear emotions, and how to create healthier patterns. And that takes work. That takes reprogramming to do that. But it starts with presence and meditation. And the more you can do that, the more you can clear all the outside stuff and tune into a higher, dimension or higher reality of yourself, basically. Mm, Thank you for that, Tyler. I'll post that. That's a nice comment in these slides. Thank you. You're all heroes in outer space. Yep. Yeah, we have. I believe we have a lot of extraterrestrial help also that's happening, and very good. So what else? I'm seeing a lot of. Yeah, I think troops are being deployed already, but if not, that's likely to be happening over the coming weeks. There may be yeah, just for you to prepare. It just feels like there's some renewed or uptick of violence or stuff like that. So they mean there may be a lot of demonstration. We're gonna again, it's all very very polarizing. So we may see a lot of like anti-war demonstrations, anti-government, this, that, and the other thing. Um, don't hear a lot about the freedom truckers, right? Now that was a really big deal that they squashed. I started talking about the AIDS pandemic or epidemic, whatever it is. You don't hear a lot about it, but it's alive and well. People are still you're still suffering from that also. So energy goes where energy flows, where attention goes, and the powers that be that know that. So they want our attention to go to certain areas, and then we ignore other important things. So again, the more we can step out of that, the better, and then step into your hearts. When you get very, very present, the next thing is to feel your heart expanding and opening. I do a lot of heart brain coherence work, as many of you know. In fact, next Thursday's video will be on heart brain coherence. We do uploads every Thursday here, so it'll be on how to do heart brain coherence. And the increase is huge. So I'm just glancing your comments on that. So good, Laura, that you're working on discipline. It's not always easy when you get a lot of stuff thrown at us, like that's trying to get us out of our place, out of our center, and out of our power, and into fear and panic and worry and all that stuff. It's not good for us on a lot of levels. And motions are energy in motion, right? The letter E in the word motion. So that energy in motion, it affects our bodies in very specific ways. It's called hormones, or the endocrine system. And certain hormones over time will tear down the physical body, where other ones strengthen and heal the body. When you do heart brain coherence, you start to emit more of those hormones that help to strengthen the body, help to heal the body, help to uplift the spirit, helps in so many ways. It even releases telomerase, which slows down the aging process, um, through slowing down the degradation of the telomeres when our cells divide, of the chromosomes. And they know that that's scientifically proven. But attention's not being drawn there. It's like, look, this is a breakthrough. The heart is this times more powerful than the brain. There's a lot of scientific breakthroughs there too. We don't hear about that, do we? And So what else? So the Queen of Swords reversed. The Queen of Swords. You use your heads basically, also. And again, I think this is more about some of you, or several of you, having to deal with difficult family members or spouses or stuff like that, or things of that nature. You've got a lot of good comments going on here. Thank you for that. All right. So let me move on from this energy. I have other divination things that I do. So this is the Native American tarot here. Get the 3 piles. Thank you. You did the transmission at 2 a.m. Oh my goodness, Colleen. It's a medium channel. Yeah, that's us. All right, clearing my mind. Where am I going? Right here. We got the Ace of Blades. Did we get this last week, or is it the week before? Which is the Ace of Swords. A lot of swords. Sword is in the mind. Swords can be about strife. A lot of breakthroughs. I'm equating this to these cards, and a lot of you are going to have breakthroughs in the next couple of weeks. Again, Samhain, Halloween. This is the time of death, the time of rebirth, the time of internalizing, going within. Going into the shadows. This is a time to really uncover the shadow aspects. Things that are stuck in our subconscious that we're not aware of, that cause negative or unhealthy patterns. So 4 chambers of the heart. That's interesting, Pauline. Yeah, that could be like the four physical directions. And I think new ideas. I think that's one of the messages also, that as we're again lots shifting in collective consciousness, and as we're evolving, we're going to get new ideas. I think part of piggybacking off of these cards. I think part of this energy with the 6 of Pentacles, although technically it represents unearned income or money that's given, or because there's scales, it could be legal also. But I think it's also about new ideas coming in, new ways of making money, or not even, doesn't even have to be financial, but just like new ideas, new breakthroughs. The Ace of Swords is about breakthroughs. It's about victories also. And this is the Ace of Blades, or the 1 of Blades in the Native American cards. So yeah. So we just had the eclipse. So we're going to be in eclipse energy for a while. Eclipses are all about shadows. And again, if you didn't do the transmission, it's on the channel. Do that. That's going to help to identify and release the shadows, because it's a frequency channeling that we do. So it's allowing you to tap into different energy frequencies to assist you in your awakening, your purging. So it enhances the work that you're doing anyways. So there's that. So new beginning. Aces are also new beginning, new ideas. You think about things that you can do that may be more sustainable. And good example is the path that I chose. Doing being a professional psychic and medium and everything. You came under a lot of criticism from people around me, because raising a young child and certain responsibilities that I had, that the conjecture was you need a stable job. This is not a stable job, but yeah, I read about it's like, what's stable in this world? People get laid off, people lose their jobs all the time. I know people that have been unemployed for years because they lost a job. I'll always have work, basically, as long as unless I get ill. So, and what's stable though? There's no such a thing. We live in an unstable world that's changing every day. The physical world is always changing. The only thing that's going to last forever is spirit. So that's what we want to connect to, the spirit and divinity. Everything in the physical is going to change. You can't find stability in the world that's inherently unstable. You can only find that in spirit, and then you create more physical stability in the short time that you're here. So what else? I have other cards. So we have Kyle Gray's on deck, and his Angels and Ancestors cards. Um, okay, so let me just clear my mind. It's taking me way down to this card here. Winter, and that looks like a wolf, right? Take care of your needs. And I'm looking at this. Planning this time of year is a good thing. Like what might you need for the winter? Should say the lights go out for a while. We get a solar flare that knocks out the satellites, which basically means no internet or no cell phones if that happens. So it's good to have a backup plan just in case. I want to say, and supplies on hand and all that stuff. Again, we live in a very uncertain world, and we know that there's a period that supplies were being held back, to create the illusion of shortages. Everything that exists in abundance. There's no shortages. Food shortages, no. I mean, ask somebody in the third world country that they would argue vehemently that there's a food shortage because everybody's hungry, but that's because they're withholding foods and supplies from certain people, we'll say, or certain nations. And I don't speak so much on conspiracy theories here. I mean, it's interesting. A lot of them do become facts. So what I'm saying is fact. This has been documented. This has been shown to be the case. And it's also shown through science, through technology, and people that know that we have the ability to feed this world many times over with the technology know-how that we have. Yet that's not happening. So again, people are waking up, and that's for them. That's a problem. As the awakening continues, there's more disparity. It's like pulling on a rubber band. The ones that are programmed, you know, you know, that's their security, because what does subconscious programming? It's very insidious because it taps into the primitive human survival instinct. That's why people that are programmed, if somebody has a different political view, it's almost like their body reacts is almost as if a tiger was chasing them, and their survival instinct kicks in, and they want to literally kill that person, with words or with ideas or whatever. And that's how the programming works. So that's why we've got to step into our heart. Hearts cannot be programmed. I can't stress that point enough. The more we're in our heart, the more resistant we are to programming. Some of it happens in frequencies, in music. Certain artists, Peter Gabriel's known to do a lot of his music in 428. 428? No. I it's 528, but it's four. I don't remember my frequencies right now. The Solfeggio frequencies. So certain musicians know about that, and they had their music's aligned up with more spiritual stuff. Anyways, all right, I'm reading your comment, Colin. Congratulations, and the souls that are coming in now, they signed a contract. Well, not literally, but they signed a contract before they came in. They know what they're getting into. So it's up to us to continue to make the world a better place. 432. Thank you, Mr. Floyd. Um, and and different frequencies. So wolves are like the teachers, and they're the trailblazers in the Native American traditions. So we're coming to winter. Take care of your needs. So that's important also. So let me move on. I've got a couple other things. So we have our frequency of the week. Yeah, yeah, about Peter Gabriel, I saw that somewhere, or at least some of his music. Although that extended beyond, because they're saying Wind and Wuthering, which actually was after Gabriel left Genesis, was tuned to 432 also, or 528, one of those. And he's not the only one. They're not the only ones. Others do that. The Solfeggio scale is just the old scale, like the Gregorian chants and other classical music is all aligned to those. It was six, and then it became nine different tones or different notes, as it were. Right, that's interesting. Yeah, Sila. Yeah, so I'll post your comments too. Um, and this is really the season where a lot of people that practice Wicca really have a heyday now. And congratulations on being a grandmother, by the way. Do 11/17. Very good. Pray, don't pray. Yeah, Jupiter. What's going on with Jupiter? She's in Taurus. I know that. Yeah. In fact, last night Jupiter and the full moon were very close together. Current comment. Oh, Visions of Angels. That's a beautiful song. It's very bittersweet, that song. I think Peter Gabriel wrote that when he was like 19 or he's crazy how what a genius he was. Um all right. So anyways, nice comments. These are all post worthy, even if I'm not posting all your comments. They're all post worthy. Yeah, we have a small group today. Last time we had 50 on. Today we got 29 on. It's interesting how it changes that way. But we are a smaller group, but we are strong, strong like bull. All right. So frequency of the week. Remembrance. This is key 38. That's my life path number is 38. Also, let me read this, and then I'll hold it for you. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. That's perfect. So the idea is to gaze in the center of the circle and you absorb that sacred geometry, basically. And you just kind of gaze in the center, just feel it, let it happen. And you may have some past life memories, soul memories, ancestral memories, or stuff like that. Sometimes things need to be purged, but they can't be purged if you're forgetting it, because the reality is that on a physical level, the way the brain's constructed, every experience that we have, we don't forget it. We just can't recall it over time, but it's there. So on a soul level, every experience that we have is interwoven into the fabric of our soul, so that when we come into a new body, our I call our soul overlay pattern. That's a kind of my own little colloquial term, but basically what that means is we imprint our soul record onto the new body that we're coming into, and that's where past life karma comes in. And people often will think that if they have bad things happen to them, like like having one abusive situation after another, they think, oh, I must have lousy karma. It must have been a terrible abuser in another lifetime. But no, it's the power of repetition at work. It's not the power of retribution. And it means you were abused in your last life and the life before and the life before that. And that's part of your soul record. See, when you come into this life, you bring that energy into this lifetime, and the way that you work through it and heals, you make different decisions than you did in other lifetimes. And the beauty of being alive now is that you can make different decisions that you cannot make in other lifetimes. If you were a slave, you couldn't make a decision to not be a slave. I mean, you could try to escape, I suppose. If you were like the ruling class, like royalty, you were a slave to your riches and your position. You couldn't change that, but now you can. And the thing is, in the soul record, freedom is such a new experience that people freak out about, and they subconsciously choose situations in this life that keep them in bondage, whether it's their job situation, their romance, their family, whatever it is, because there's a fear of the unknown. Again, that's the primitive survival instinct. The body does not want to die. So it wants everything to be familiar and orderly and predictable and all that good stuff. So we have to transcend that. How do we do that? We get present. We go into the heart. We expand the heart frequency. Uh, and I'm not saying you guys, but them, you guys out there. If you only knew how easy it was and how complicated you are, your lives would change. It's amazing. It really is. So there's the frequency of remembrance. You know, that's where shadows come up. It's again, it's that survival instinct. We are programmed to fear pain, to suppress pain, rather than to work through the pain. If we were conditioned to work through the pain, there'd be a lot less shadows, and shadows create unhealthy patterns in life. So we have a trauma when we're a child. What would we do? We suppress it rather than have our parents talk us through it and allow us to experience our feelings. Because then when we experience it, we can let it go so much more easily. Right? So anyhow, what else do I have here? Medicine cards. See, I sit on the floor with a low table. I have my altar here. And maybe if I move this, you can actually see some of my Halloween stuff here. Yeah, you can see the pumpkin back there. All right. um, but that kind of affirms that I was Japanese in another lifetime. This is what I like: the low table. I like to eat. I like to sit on the floor when I eat it and do things. All right. Ooh, this is the season of the bear, is it not? They're gathering, getting ready for hibernation. Although bears don't start hibernating till like December now, or even later here. So we're a little bit before the hibernation season. But what do bears do? They hibernate. They digest all their lessons of the year past. They go into the womb of Mother Earth, deep into a cave somewhere. And they don't, bears don't really hibernate like other animals. They just slow down a lot. So a hibernating bear every now and then will just wander out of their cave for a moment, just kind of stretch their arms out a little bit, whatever. So bears represent introspection. They're the totem animal of the West, the place of introspection on the medicine wheel. And it's calling on us to digest all of our lessons, to go within and be able to release those stuck stored memories. So we had remembrance, and we have the bear. We're meant to remember. We're not meant to forget. We're not meant to suppress. We're meant to process. And that's how we grow. When we suppress, we don't really grow because we don't process anything. Everything happens for a reason. And very good. So just looking at your comments for a second. Yes, hard to stay present. Absolutely, yeah. And even in anger, feel empowered. Your feelings are justified, and their expressions are seeds planted authentically by respecting your justified emotion. Absolutely, and that's what anger is. It's an emotion. Joe Dispenza could tell you the 7 or 8 different hormones that fire through your body when you're angry. The thing is, you don't want to stay angry though. That's the other side of that. But if you don't express your anger, you don't let yourself feel your anger, you're just going to suppress it again, and it's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to make you sick. So that's not to say to yell every time something goes wrong, to yell at the top of your lungs or whatever, but you have to be, you have to feel that, and yeah, it's justified, but at the same time you can rise above that also. Yeah. And what are you saying about that? Emotions are quantum mechanics that create matter. Yes, they are. All emotional spectrums that magnetize the particles that make us. So, the universe is energy, it's frequency. So that's why it's the word letter E in the word motion. It's energy and motion. So in the human experience, emotions become hormones in our physical body. Some hormones over time are harmful to that physical body. So fear is one of them. Anger is another. These are survival-based emotions. When you get angry, you can rally up superhuman strength in order to save your life, basically. So it's part of the primitive survival instinct of survival, basically. Um, but again, it can cultivate great powers. But the idea is the more you can be in gratitude, the more you can be in love, appreciation, compassion. These are emotions that release hormones in the body that heal us, basically. That don't cause stress, that don't cause the physical system to start to break down all the time. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just putting another spin on it, not disagreeing with what you're saying, Shyla. Especially you grounded under your feet. There you go. Exactly. I like that metaphor also. Thank you. Very good. Very good with that. Um, and there's a lot of good stuff. I really like again Joe Dispenza's work. That's why he's the most quoted teacher here on the channel. Um, just because I mean, I like all of them, but he did the way he explains things really speaks to me. So I have being that it's 12:05 already, I finish up with an angel message. This is Doreen Virtue's messengers from the angels. And this is Merlina, you are confused and indecisive because you do not have enough information. Do research or seek expert advice before making a decision. I think you can get information through the heart. Honestly, I don't think I wouldn't take everything. Um, I wouldn't take everything that you have to seek advice from the outside, but certainly that's what experts in other fields are for, right? We're a community. And when I teach things like mediumship and communicating with your spirit guides and stuff like that, I'll tell people your higher self, your spiritual self is your first and best source of information. So your most important spirit guide is your higher self. But just to give you an example, like say your higher self is a mechanic, right? Like your higher self knows everything about mechanics, but you need dental help. So you're going to call on your higher self and try and have your higher self try to treat a broken tooth with like wrenches and hammers, or you're going to ask your higher self to find a dentist, a spirit that's a dentist, they can give you the right advice. So even as high, even in our higher natures, we're community beings. We're all connected. We're all part of the same whole. So the human experience is very unique on planet Earth. 200,000 years ago, modern human, according to Greg Braden now, modern human just kind of came on the scene with an incomplete genetic pattern as is related to proto-humans, basically. In fact, there's genes in humans that have not been found in any archaeological you'll find, those go back to the age of the dinosaur. It goes up way, way farther back than 200,000 years. So why is that? Are we a seeded species from extraterrestrials? I don't know, but certainly that's the only explanation that checks all the boxes to why we are here, why we are different. As soon as I see the word Ho'oponopono, I have to flash the comment. Yeah, exactly. Ho'opono. You can do this in any order. But the way I do is I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. But we had oh my goodness, I can't even remember her name. Like I said, I didn't really sleep last night because the transmission was so strong. Gail, that's right. We had Gail Lynn on, who wrote a book called Back to Ho'oponopono. So you can catch that interview on the channel as well. All right. So anyway, I kind of glossed over Merlina, but yeah, oh no, I explained that. So we know everything because we are tapped into the knowledge of how this whole universe, this multiverse was created. We have access to everything. And so seek an expert, whether it's an internal one or an external one. Yeah, Gail was wonderful, right? And be your own messiah. I love that. That's right. Yeah, very good. All right. And this one, and very good. Not comfortable. It's not comfortable. Yeah, really isn't. But it's so important that we're able to do that. Yeah, and it's all about breaking through the programming. Like Bruce Lee said, I came into this through martial arts training, which is actually a quote from J. Krishnamurti that a lot of spiritual teachers use now, is that spiritual growth is not about daily increase, it's about daily decrease. It's shedding those layers of programming, conditioning, other lifetimes. You're already spirit, so you can't be more spiritual than you are right now. You are spirit. So it's really the knowledge of who you are, discovering who you truly are. That's what the spiritual path is all about. And it's all based on simplicity. There's very fundamental laws that the universe goes by. What's his name? Nikola Tesla tapped into that because he had an obsession with the number 3. It's in a lot of his writings. Like, we don't know if he actually said, if you only knew the magnificence of the 369, you would have the keys to the universe. But we do know that he's paid a lot of attention to the numerology of 3. And what does that do? You have 0, 1, and 2. 0 and 1, that's the binary code. Everything's in the physical is a function of duality. You have zeros like the sacred yoni, one's the sacred phallus, and you look at the shape. You use your imagination a little bit, but you can look at the shape and see that. So zeros like the void, it's like the earth, Mother Earth, the womb, basically. And one, like I said, is the divine phallus, more the active principle. So everything in the physical is some kind of a balance or an interplay of the 0 and 1, the opposites. And that's where you arrive at the number 2. But then the number 3 unifies those opposites, as it were, through the triangle, the 3 and the 1 and the 1 and the 3. We're in Halloween, so in Wicca it's the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, the triple goddess. In Christianity it's the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but it's the 3 and the 1 and the 1 and the 3. So 3 is those forces that change or act upon the physical universe. So that represents more of the spiritual forces. And being a numerologist, I can tell you the number 3 behaves differently than any other number in numerology in all of its multiples. 3, 6, and 9 behave differently than all the other numbers. And there's a reason for that. So anyway, gonna leave you guys with that thought because we're long. we're going long. Going way over, yes. Just looking at your back of your comment. Oh, you're welcome, Laura. Thank you. I'll post that also. My pleasure. Yeah. All right. So heading on out. So Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do mediumship readings here. Hope you guys can join us. And thanks for being here. Thanks for all your great comments, Millie, Laura, Thyla, Pauline, and Colleen, all you, Anna, all you guys that have been chiming in, Mr. Floyd, all you guys, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Be well, and we are going to continue to do our work. We're going to continue to grow. If you know people that may benefit from our work, please, by all means, everybody benefits when the community grows. And thanks again. Love you all.